Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Giridhari, Radha Giridhari, Radha Giridhari, Radhe Radhe, Radha Giridhari, Radha Giridhari, Radha Giridhari, Radhe Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Gaura Hari, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Radha, Nila Madhav Radha, Nila Madhav Radhe Radhe, Radha Nila Madhav Radha, Nila Madhav Radha, Nila Madhav Radhe Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo, Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhans Pravijakacarya Astrota Sashi Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhans Pravijakacarya Astrota Sashi Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्णा गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की गंगा माई यमुना माई की, भक्ति देवी वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की, नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की, द्वारका मथुरा धाम की, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की, हरे कृष्ण धाम इस्कॉन ऑफ ह्यूस्टन की, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. And all glories, all glories, all glories to the lotus feet of Shri Guru. And Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So this is Shri Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj with translations and purports by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Aha, here comes the 20-kilo garland. Jai Nilamadava ki jai. Okay. Nirjanavane. Nirjanavane. Chale Prabhu. Chale Prabhu. Krishna Namalanya. Krishna Namalanya. Nirjanavane Chale Prabhu. Nirjanavane Chale Prabhu. Krishna Namalanya. When Lord Chaitanya passed through the solitary forests on the way to Vrindavan, how many people here are on the way to Vrindavan? Can raise your hand there. No, you're not on the way to Vrindavan. I'm on the way to Vrindavan. There's different ways to get there. You should do that. It's a very nice place. It's even better than Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha's Janito Vara. It's even better than Vaikuntha. When Lord Chaitanya passed through the solitary forests, chanting the holy name of Krishna, the tigers, got tigers? How big is a tiger? Is it this big? Is it this big? Without the tail. No, bigger than that, no? How big is a tiger's mouth? Yeah. Would you be afraid if you saw a tiger? Well, probably your body wouldn't have to react. My name is Hanumat Presaka. Anybody doesn't know? Okay, we were born on Guam, raised up in California, graduated in psychology, went to India, became a disciple of Prabhupada 74, sannyas 84. Now we're working on programs, academic programs, and so on. Yeah, planning on leaving our body 2024. So, like that. Why not? Yeah. So we had some friends in Northern California, Ron and Lucille. They've been bhaktas for like 25 years or something. So they had like 5 acres of land up in Northern California. It was kind of in the foothills of the Sierras, and same thing. Many people more than that, 20 acres, I guess, 20-acre plots. And they put in a little hydroelectric generator on their stream and had power. So their house was, kind of up on a hill, maybe as tall as the roof of the altar there, the beginning like that. And down below was some more property. And then Ron told me one day he went for a walk, and he looked over, and there was a puma, a mountain lion, like that. And they're tiger size, lady puma. So what do you do when you see a puma? No, that's the last thing on earth you can do is run. If you run, there's a sign on your back that says breakfast. That's what you're saying. Yeah, I'm afraid of you. So you're supposed to very calmly go, Of course, other things are happening internally, but this just shows that I'm not afraid of you, and I'm bigger than I actually seem and stuff. So he did that, And maybe the distance from here to Prabhupada she was. Then he kind of turned around and started walking back towards his house, and he would stop and look, and she was following him the same distance like that. So he finally said he got back to the house up on the hill, and they had a dog who was half German Shepherd and half wolf or something, So the dog looks up at him, and he grabs the dog's collar, and then the dog sees the puma, and he said instantly the hair just went bah like that. The dog was like instantly 3 times the size it was before. It was like the hair like that, and then the dog was going like basically, don't you know what that is? It was like, and it was oscillating between attacking, or running away, but it was just looking at him like, So the dog knew immediately what it was, So he was holding on to the dog, and he was there, and the puma, licked her hand a couple times and went away, And later on she got killed because she was doing odd things, okay. So this is Lord Chaitanya. He was passing through the solitary forest. How many people were with him? How many people were with him on the way to Vrindavan? 2. He had 1 servant and one Brahmin, like that, and so on. So the 3 of them were going through, And he was chanting the holy name of Krishna. The tigers and elephants, seeing him, gave way. Okay. Pale pale viagra hasti gandhara sukar gana tarimadhyaya veshe prabhu karila gomana. When the Lord passed through the jungle in great ecstasy, packs of tigers, elephants, and rhinoceros, and boars came, and the Lord passed right through them. Boars are also, these are all ferocious animals. Boar maybe this big, and the tusks are so sharp you can cut paper on them. They're not messing around. So he was passing through them. Rhinoceroses, you can imagine that. Boars, what else we got? Tigers, elephants, okay. Balabuses, this is 500 years ago. What time is this? What's happening in the world when Lord Chaitanya was here? Any reference? When did Columbus discover America? You don't know? How many Americans here? 1492. 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Okay, 4th grade. And Lord Chaitanya was born when? 1486 or something? Yeah, 1486. So 6 years, just 6 years before Columbus discovered America. So all of American history, everything has happened since then. So it was a very simple time. People's knowledge of the world, the Arabs, the Muslims, their knowledge of the world. It was a very simple time. And no mass destructions of rhinoceroses. So the jungles and everything else were full of animals and villages, and it was a very, very different time. Balabhadra Bhattacharya, who was the Lord's Brahmin assistant, was very much afraid to see them. But by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's influence, all the animals stood to one side. Ekadina pate vyagra karyache shayana aveshe tare gaya prabhur lagila charana. One day a tiger was lying on the path, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, walking along the path in ecstatic love, touched the tiger with his feet. Okay. Prabhu kahe, kaha Krishna vyagra utila, Krishna Krishna kahi vyagra nachite lagila. The Lord said, chant the holy name of Krishna. And the tiger immediately got up and began to dance and chant, Krishna, Krishna. Even a tiger, no? Or a dog, right? Dogs could do that, right? They make all these strange noises. Woof, Krishna, Krishna. Okay. Aradine Mahaprabhu Kari Nade Shnana Mata Haste Yuta Aila Karite Jal Prana. Another day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was bathing in a river, and a herd of maddened elephants came to drink water. The Lord, while bathing and murmuring the Gayatri mantra, the elephants came before him. The Lord immediately splashed some water on the elephants and asked them to chant the name of Krishna. The elephants, whose bodies were touched with the waters, began to chant Krishna, Krishna, and dance and sing in ecstasy. Some of the elephants fell on the ground, and some screamed in ecstasy. Seeing this, Balabhadra Acharya was completely astonished. Sometimes Lord Chaitanya chanted very loudly while passing through the jungle. Hearing his sweet voice, all the does, the female deer, came to hear him. Hearing the Lord's great vibration, all the does followed him left and right. While reciting a verse with great curiosity, the Lord patted them. Yeah. Okay. Here's the verse. Dhanyasma mudamatayo piharinya eta yanandanandana upata vichitra vesham akarnya venuranitam saha krishna saraha pujam dadur virachitam pranayavalokain. Blessed are these foolish deer, because they have approached the son of Maharaj Nanda, who is gorgeously dressed and is playing on his flute. Indeed, both the does and the bucks worship the Lord with looks of love and affection. And this is the gopis, I think, describing all the deer in Vrindavan. Hena Kale Vyagra. While Sri Chaitanya was passing through the jungle, 5 or 7 tigers came. Joining the deers, the tigers began to follow the Lord. Seeing the tigers and deers following him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately remembered the land of Vrindavan. He then began to recite a verse describing the transcendental qualities of Vrindavan. Let's see if we got, okay. Where's it go? Dharma Kshetra. Yatra nishargo durvairaha sahasanandriya mrigadayaha mritani vajitavasa drutarut tarshan adikam. Vrindavan is the transcendental abode of the Lord. There is no hunger, anger, or thirst there. Though naturally inimical, human beings and fierce animals live together there in transcendental friendship. And Prabhupada said, this is a statement from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:13, 60. After stealing the cowherd boys and calves of Sri Krishna, Lord Brahma kept them asleep and hid them. After a moment, Brahma returned to see the condition of Krishna. When he saw that Krishna was still busy with his cowherd boyfriends and animals and was not disturbed, Lord Brahma appreciated the transcendental opulence of Vrindavan. So this is, you go over and you take prasadam. You get your plate, sit down with your near and dear ones, taking prasadam, okay. Then you look up, you talk to somebody, you look down, and the plate is full of food. Right? You finish taking prasadam, and you look down, and all the prasadam is there. What would you think? I've gone mad. I took prasadam, I did, my fingers. Yeah. So this is Lord Brahma, right? He comes and he puts all the cowherd boys to sleep and the calves, and it's very nice in the little Krishna movie. He takes them away. Then he puts them all here. And for him it's one moment. He looks back and they're all there, right? Yeah, he's bewildered. Yeah. He's the topmost intelligent person in the universe. He's conscious of what's happening in 75% of the universe. He knows just by his intelligence. Outside, are the stars shining right now? Make your choice. Are the stars shining? Yes or no? If you're wrong, I'll blow you to pieces. Yes? It's not dark outside. Yeah. Okay, somewhere. Okay. Yeah, because by your intelligence, we know outside what's happening. We know how many people are there. Yeah, just by your intelligence, you can understand these things. One man is walking down the road, and he sees another man up on an old dead tree, and the man is cutting off branches and falling on the ground, and he's collecting them to get firewood to sell it. But he's sitting on a branch, maybe as high as up there, and sawing, right? But the problem is that he's sitting here and the tree is here, and he's sawing like that. The tree is there. So the man on the ground says, hey, if you keep on doing that, you're going to fall down and crack your head or something. And the man on the tree says, go away, leave me alone, and throws a hammer at him or something, So it's okay, do what you want to do. So after some time, he cuts the branch and he falls down, whack, and he does knock on his head, and 10 minutes later he wakes up from his concussion and he says, my God, that man was a great mystic. He could tell the future. But this is, you can tell, like the children, you can tell what's going to happen, Yeah. And so Lord Brahma, because of Lord Brahma's body is composed of intelligence, right? We think things, we have thoughts, but we can also understand the thoughts. That's buddhi. Manas is thinking thoughts, feeling, liking it, don't liking it. This is all level of manas. And buddhi, Buddha, is when we understand the thoughts. Okay, put them in order. Oh, she's going to buy something at the market. Okay, I can stop her and ask her to pick up some Tylenol for me, like that. I know her. Yeah. So this is Lord Brahma's body, right? If some madman comes and tries to rip your shirt off, it's gonna, okay, yeah. But he tries to rip your skin off, then it's like more of a howling, screaming protest. Yeah. If somebody cuts your hair, At 2 years old, if you cut the child's hair, they freak out. They're crazy. They so many things. So as we become more detached, develop real knowledge, and then we come to the level of manas, and then we can start becoming free from anger, arising just from frustration and so many things. We become like Socrates or Confucius or Chanika Pandit, become jnanis, wise people. But still, Lord Brahma, who is the topmost Brahmana, he's still attached to his understanding, his body of knowledge on this level of looking at things and so on. And so he has some. He's creating different creatures, and some of them are, rakshasas, and so many violent thoughts. But it says that he just casts off that body, which Prabhupada says means he changed his mind. He changed his mind. So for us, sometimes we're haunted by thoughts. Mother, what's her name? Vishaka, Yadubar's good wife, Yadubar. Vishaka. So she's a very famous photographer. Before she joined Iskcon and Prabhupada, she won awards for microphotography and everything else. So Yadubar, who's makes so many fantastic movies, and her were staying in Sharanagati for some time up in Canada, near Vancouver. And the winter there, a normal day in the winter is 30 below zero centigrade. That's a normal day in the winter. Cold day is 50 below zero. Every morning when you wake up and taking your breakfast beverage, you listen to the radio, and the radio says, exposed flash freezes into 30 seconds, exposed flash freezes in 90 seconds. So you get your morning notice, Okay, that means if you got to do something out of your gloves, you got basically, 60 seconds or before your hand will, freeze. Yeah. So anyway, people live there. So she said that when she was living there, during the daytime in the winter, it was absolutely silent. No birds, no animals, no wind, nothing, just absolutely silent. And she noticed that whatever conversation she would have with somebody, that would be running through her mind the whole day. And so she started to become very careful about what she would do, what she would talk to people about, because she knew it was gonna, So it's very, very good for understanding how the mind works. Yeah, we do that. We can't get some song out of our mind. But Lord Brahma, no problem. So Lord Brahma is the topmost intelligent person. He's almost on the level of the super soul. But even he was amazed by Krishna's pastimes because he wanted to find out. Some people say that whatever it is, the eighth son of Devaki or something is actually this child of Nanda Maharaj. That actually that's the eighth son of Devaki and he was changed, and that's some people say that, So what do you mean? This is the incarnation of Vishnu? Lord Brahma had seen so many incarnations, no? When he couldn't do his job, he couldn't create species of life. Swayambhuva and Sadarupa couldn't produce children because Hiranyaksha had stolen the earth. They'd taken all the gold out of the earth, so it was sinking in the Garbhodak ocean. And Prabhupada says now they're taking all the black gold out, and it will also sink into the Garbhodak ocean. Mining all the oil and taking it out. What happens? Well, the oceans are rising. Yeah? Where does that oil go? It's turned into heat, it's turned into stuff, and then it's, So the oceans are rising. So whether the oceans are rising or the earth is going down, it's the same thing. However you want to look at it. And the Garbhodak ocean, that's a subtle influence. So there's so many influences, relationships between the subtle platform, the gross platform, our activities, and we just, science only is concerned with what it can see and what it can understand by mathematics. And their mathematics is quite limited in some ways, So, but there's so many subtle things, very personal relationships, So Lord Brahma, he's seen the Varaha avatar. Varaha appeared, when he couldn't solve his problems, he came out of his nose. Maybe you had a similar experience. You had a problem, and Something came out of your nose. Got bigger. Hey, you need some help? Yeah. Yeah. What else? Who else did he see? Varaha came before. Before Nrsimha. Yeah. Yeah. And Varaha, Nrsimha. So many different incarnations. And okay, this is, but ete cha angsa, sakalaha pumsam. Yeah. These are all portions or plenary portions of the Swayam Bhagavan. Swayam Bhagavan. Somebody, Gopal, where's Gopal? Gopal's not here. he sent me a nice movie of the biography of, Venkateshwara Deshika or something. It's a South Indian. And I was looking at it, and it's very, opulent and, all these things. Shriman Narayan, Brahmanas chanting mantras, perspiring ghee, with incense burning. Narayana, 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 Narayana. It's very, very inspiring. I was thinking, wow, it's nice. Let me go there, But Prabodhananda Saraswati, who was, very, very high-class Brahmana, with his brother Venkatabhata, he left all this. Vanchito Shmi, he said, I was raised up in the opulent worship of Lakshmi and Narayan, right? And all this time, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the Bengali Vaishnavas, Iskcon devotees, they were drowning in Madhurya Ras. Vanchito Shmi, Vanchito Shmi, Vanchito Shmi. I was cheated, I was cheated, I was cheated. So he became a Bengali Ghosh Vaishnava. You see, so much of Bhakti Siddhanta and everything else, they're making this point that you have to understand the difference. So here Lord Brahma is facing this situation that if somebody tells him that Krishna, Nilamadava, is not the love God incarnation of Sriman Narayan. So many places you look at encyclopedias and they say, Krishna, the 8th incarnation of Vishnu. So many times makes you go crazy, Who wrote this article? Some places are beginning to figure out, and they say, some people, Bengali people, say he is actually like this and that. But who is Nilamadava? Who is Nilamadava? Who's the girl with Nilamadava? So Brahma, right? Brahma's going to investigate this, and his process is very simple. Okay, he's God. He's playing with his friends. He hasn't even got any pants on. He's like playing with his friends in the forest, little boy, and he's eating with his left hand. This is the supreme personality of Godhead, Sriman Narayan. Come on, watch this. So he plays with him like a child. Like maybe you take something away, or you fool the cat or something. Like let me just, So he turns away, he comes back, and what's there? All the cowherd boys, all the cows, and Brahma probably has this immediate pattern recognition where he can identify that every single one of them is exactly the same as the ones he took away. So then what happens? Nobody knows. Buy the Krishna book. It's on sale in the gift store there for only something. He comes down from Brahmaloka, or wherever he is, down, and he's standing there looking at Gopal, standing there, and Gopal is looking at him like that. Yeah. And then for one moment, Krishna raises the curtain of Yoga Maya like that. And then Lord Brahma can see things as they are, that all these cowherd boys are expansions, Vishnu Murti. And of course, Lord Brahma is worshiping Vishnu Murti. And so then he's seeing, my God, this little boy is the source of the God that I am worshiping. And all the straws and the leaves and the grass and the animals and everything are dancing around them in ecstasy and, worshiping them like that. So then his intelligence is about to blow a fuse. So his mind is about to blow a fuse, this kind of stuff. So his intelligence kind of turns it off, and Krishna lowers the curtain of Yoga Maya. And again, now I think this is where this verse is coming from, And then he sees where he is, surrounded by the beauty of Vrindavan. In Vrindavan is a transcendental abode of the Lord. This is Sutta Goswami talking to Sukadeva Goswami talking to Maharaj Pariksit about this, what Lord Brahma was seeing. Yeah. There is no hunger, anger, thirst there. Sounds pretty boring, right? What do you do if you can't become angry at people? Many times girls go out looking for a fight, right? I've heard this many times. You go out, pick a fight with somebody. Pick a fight with your husband, okay? Yeah, but that's a different kind of anger. There is no hunger, no anger, no thirst. Though naturally inimical, human beings and fierce animals live together there in transcendental friendship. Yeah? So we'll explain later that the tigers who normally eat the deer, and the deer who run away from the tigers and kick them in the face if they try and follow them, we're sort of kissing each other, kissing. So if you want to see this, you go around the temple, and it's right over here, right where the stairway goes down into the patio. You can see a picture of this painting. That's verses there. And it doesn't say here, but also the monkeys. I guess that's the monkeys. Some places it says the monkeys. The monkeys were screeching, and the monkeys were doing flips and everything else like that, and so on. So it's an entire, fantastic, circus with Lord Chaitanya. So, Isopanishad. How many people have read Srila Prabhupada's Isopanishad? Anybody? You read that? You should read it. Nobody? Yeah, so many nice books. Of there's Shruti and Smriti. What's the difference between Shruti and Smriti? Yeah.
Shruti is something which is being heard, and Smriti is which is remembered as history.
Yeah. So Shruti is that which is directly heard from the Supreme Lord. So the 4 original Vedas are Shruti. The Aranyakas, Upanishads, these are Shruti. And then when the sages like Vyasa, they hear this, and then they give us Mahabharata, they give us the Puranas. This is Smriti. From their contemplations, they produce this literature. So some people only accept Shruti. They won't accept Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita as evidence in their lives. So, to deal with Prabhupada's books, the Bhaktivedanta Library, Isopanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Krishna book. It's very, very, we have a PowerPoint show. All the Prabhupada gave us a whole library. So, some people don't accept, right, Smriti. They don't accept the Bhagavatam. They don't accept Bhagavad Gita, the authority. But they accept the Upanishads and the Vedas. And I think that's maybe the only reason Prabhupada took the time to do Isopanishad. So we have something which is Shruti. In the Prabhupada's books we have Isopanishad, which is one of the, 8 principal Upanishads, or 10? 10? Yeah, 10 principal Upanishads. So it's very authoritative. And you read it, it's very nice. It starts off in a very general, impersonal way. The absolute truth is never is always full. The Supreme Lord God is always full. Even though so many things come from the absolute truth, it's not diminished like that. It's always the same, and everything that comes from it is completed in itself. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Yeah, very nice. Yeah. Then it's describing Isha Vashamidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tiyaktena Bunjitaha Magreta Kashyasvidanam. Everything is owned and controlled by the Lord. Right? Therefore, knowing this, if you take your quota, then you'll always have sufficient. Everything will be very properly, and you can aspire to live for hundreds of years like that. So it goes on like that. Verses describing he has no hands, but he controls everything. He has no feet, but he runs faster than everybody. He never leaves his abode, but he knows everything is happening. So I know one devotee, Mishra Bhagavan, my friend in Dallas, distributing books from Radha Damodar party. And he uses that, he distributes that a lot, especially to Christian people. And he shows them these verses, and they say, well, that's the same God I worship. Yeah, let me take your book. So it's like that. Upanishads are like that. They're very, general, very impersonal or general, But then, for verse number 15 is the Mayavadis run when they hear 15. What is it? Yeah. Hiranmayena patrena satyasha pihitam mukam. Hiranmayena, this golden effulgence. Patra, in Hindi, right? Envelope is patra. It's very clear. It's very difficult to misinterpret this. Hiranmayena patrena satyasha pihitam mukam tatam pushtam apavenu satya dharmaya darishyate. Remove this golden effulgence and show me your mukha. It's very clear, very difficult, very, very clear. So this is Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Upanishad 15, Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Yeah. So right in the Vedas it's saying, Vedaischa sarver aham eva vedyo Vedanta Veda kriyat eva chaham. Do you know Sanskrit, sir? Vedaischa sarvam. Yeah, I know the Vedas if I know Krishna. I have a working knowledge of Sanskrit. Oh, okay. Do you have a working knowledge? No, I am a machine. I learn verses. I don't know what they mean at all. Yeah. So this is Isopanishad. And it's Shruti, but it's very clear. It goes on like that. It's very clear that yes, God is present everywhere, just like the President of the United States. He has his information, he has his resource. If there's some problem, he's ready to respond, through his agencies and his personal direction. Okay. So the Upanishad is establishing in this perspective. So Brahma wants to understand by stealing the cows and calves. Balabhadra Bhattacharya is understanding by seeing the power of the kirtan. And Upanishad is trying to give us a very rational explanation. And it also says that to understand this, you have to cultivate two things in the very beginning. To understand, you have to cultivate knowledge of the spiritual world. Do people die in the spiritual world? Okay. Are people ignorant in the spiritual world? No. Are people unhappy in the spiritual world? No. It is Sat Chit Ananda. It's eternal, cognizable completely, and blissful. Okay, yeah. So that's the basic principle. And then beyond that, we begin to become purified, and we can chant the holy names, and we appreciate the holy names can transport us out of our suffering. They can transport us to Indra Loka. And don't get hung up on Indra Loka kirtans. What a nice society. People dress nicely, it's clean, friendly, everything else. Yeah, you get caught in Indra Loka Iskcon. You take birth in Indra Loka Iskcon, you get pearl japa beads, and you get heavenly gratification. But by hearing Prabhupada's purports, by hearing Prabhupada's kirtan, associating with devotees who are associating with Prabhupada, then we begin to get more higher realizations. Prabhupada says the highest material trap is Varna Ashram Dharma. Varna Ashram Dharma. I'm a pious, good, chaste woman. I'm a funny, intelligent sannyasi. You start identifying with the persona. That's a part of the Virat Rup. We're identifying with it. And it's so human-like, everything else we think. So we're identifying Prabhupada this way. Prabhupada said, I am not this old man. Who is he? Yeah. So, and he says, we can only surpass this attachment, this trap, by making friendship with a devotee. So if you, through people somehow or other, you come in contact with Prabhupada, and you become his friend by being sincere, honest person, like that, then you realize, wow, this is different than any other relationship I have. You know, most people, you meet them at work and you say, "How are you?" They say, "I'm fine. How are you? How's the family?" "I'm fine." It's just, it's all automatic. We had one guy who was a very sarcastic guy. He was our mechanic for the temple in Berkeley. And you dialed up his phone, it would answer and say, "Hello, this is Bob. How are you?" I would say, you say, "Well, I'm fine, how are you?" And he would say, "I'm fine, glad to hear you. By the way, I'm not here. This is the answering machine." It's like he was such a weird, sarcastic person. It was like, you fool. We attracted those kind of people. So yeah, this is prakriti kriya manani. We're just externally, but it can become subtle too. It can become subtle, not gross. Some people say, "I'll die unless I get a cigarette." I mean, they have problems. You're addicted to smoking. They got everything, every kind of addictive substance you can get in tobacco. Any kind of addictive legal substance is in tobacco. You're not just smoking tobacco. You're smoking monosodium glutamate, everything else. So anybody who's told you has given up smoking and stuff, they become constipated, they become vertigo, they have vomiting. It's just, yeah. Okay, so somebody who says, "My God, unless I get a cigarette, I'll die." Okay, maybe a little more purified. "My God, unless I get some rice, I'll die. Idli, wada, sambar." or if you're Mexican will say, "Unless I have tamales, I will die." Germans is potatoes, right? But Germans will die without potatoes, okay? Americans will die without peanut butter. You can kill all the Americans by stop serving their access to peanut butter, okay? Yeah, that's it. So, but we give up from these. We follow the four principles, okay? You're liberated. You're on such a celestial platform. People following four principles, chanting 16 rounds, you're on a celestial platform. But the Upanishad says you have to hear about what the spiritual world is. So get the comparison. Really hear about it. And he says you also have to go on hearing about the material world. "Oh, Prabhu, I only want to hear about Krishna. I don't want to hear about birth, death, disease, and old age. I don't want to see what's happening in the in the jungles of Africa or these kind of things." Prabhu, Prabhupada says if you only hear about the good things of the spiritual world, you become a Sahajiya. Right? Take it very cheaply. "Prabhu, I chant Hare Krishna, that's all I need." Yeah, but there's some pressure and they become extremely angry and the horns come out and they become, crazy, And the other side, if you only hear about the bad aspects of the material world, then you become a Mayavadi. Mayavadis are so expert, good Mayavadis. How many people know Britra Haridas? You know Britra Haridas? Okay, I got you all on this one. Yeah. He's a very famous Mayavadi brahmachari. I don't know, maybe from the 14th century or something like that. So he has a thing called Vairagya Shataka. It's like verses for renunciation, 100 verses for renunciation. And this is an example of how, he says when we see a dog, with his ribs sticking out from hunger, his hair gone from disease, which is rotting his flesh, his tail broken, half of his teeth gone, forced to run passionately after a bitch for sex, we cannot but help call cruelty and shame upon the God of love who shot this poor creature with his arrows. Fifi. Yeah. So he has this stuff, How can they call them weaker who, with their broad hips covered with beautiful pearl girdles and full bosoms, have conquered the king of heaven, Indra? Like that. It's like, it's like very, one thing after another is good. But if that's all you got, then you become very bitter about everything. So Upanishad says we are not Mayavadis, we are not, Sahajiyas. What are we? Sahajavadis. Sahajavadis. Mayajiyas. So it's important to, Upanishad says, to cultivate knowledge, What are the four problems in this world? These are the four things that push everybody to get educated. This is in the Bhagavad Gita. Janma, Mritya, Jara, Vyadi. All the mothers here know that birth is not a comfortable thing. It's like Lily Tomlin, this American comedian, she says, guys don't know what it's like giving birth to a baby. She said, it's like somebody taking your lower lip and pulling it up over your eyes. Like that. It's like, yeah, she said, it's like, yeah, okay. So then immediately you offer all respects to mothers. Yeah. But other things too, it's just, Janma. Janma is a horrible experience. You go to biology. With French poets, I don't know what his name was, there's so many French poets, He said every young man who's thinking about getting married should take a course in physiology. What is this body? Mammalian physiology, upper division 110A and B, Selkirk and Ganong, I recommend it. You see what this body is. Everybody here, I'm going to make everybody here's skin disappear now. You ready? Hold on, I'm going to make all the skin disappear from everybody. Like that. Yeah, it's just, we don't maintain that consciousness, but that's what's happening. Everybody here is a smartphone, right? Open up the smartphone and got little cans, all this kind of stuff inside. Doesn't look anything like the image you're looking at. That's the word, this thin, right? This thin. Yeah, so this is cultivating Janma, Mritya, which means death. Yeah. Janma, Jara, old age, and Vyadi, diseases, Anthrax, angina, what else we got? We start with all the A's, you can do it alphabetically. You got anthrax, angina, apoplexy, botulism, bubonic plague, Yeah, we have to cultivate this knowledge. We have to be serious about this stuff. And then that gives us an appreciation, a contrast for the spiritual world. And then we can make progress. We can actually appreciate, Radha Nila Madhava and the Kirtan. As we become more purified, of course, we get, more connected to Krishna. But even up to the platform of bhava, it's still possible to accidentally fall down and pass your whole life or several lifetimes forgetting Krishna. Maya is always waiting for us to forget Krishna for one moment. Like the kitty cat's waiting outside the mouse hole. One too many whiskers outside. She's designed, Yeah. So Prabhupada says, how can you remember Krishna all the time? By chanting 16 good rounds early. And then Krishna will always remind, watch out, be careful. Mommy, watch out, be careful. Yeah. Hi there. Yes. Agitated by different kinds of subtle sexual relations. I can help you. Don't worry, I'll save you. Yeah. So 16 nice rounds early, and then we can, keep from being caught by Maya. We can make progress, get ourselves more and more purified, until finally, on the platform of bhava, it's impossible. You can't have an accidental fall down, and you're basically in the spiritual world. A little bit more effort. So, at this point, any questions or comments? I think somebody's supposed to appear from the audience now and make announcements. He's getting ready. He's putting on his Superman suit. Any questions or comments? You can ask about anything. Prabhupada says if you have no questions, it means you're satisfied in this nasty place. Die. Yes, Gopal's. He's thinking. No. Wait a second. There's no microphones there. Vishal took them all. He hid them. Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you very much. Wonderful class. One of the last thing you mentioned was even in the bhava stage, one can fall down. Maya is always there to catch you.
No. In the bhava stage, there's no accidental fall down.
Okay.
Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Haya Andakar, Yahan Krishna Taha Nahi, Maya Radhikar. You can very clearly see what is Maya, not attraction.
So Bharat Maharaj case, how was that?
It's the excellent question, because Bharata Maharaj was in the platform of bhava when he developed his attachment for this deer. I am the dearmost friend, Bhokta Ramya Gatapashyam. And it says in the text that he, because of his karma, but Prabhupada says in the purport, following Acharyas, no, it's impossible on the level of bhava to have an accidental fall down. It was only possible because he intentionally was being arrogant, being greedy. Well, Padashamrita says the same thing. You can fall from the platform of Paramahamsa as soon as you become envious of other people. But that's not karma, that's offensive. Ajamil was sinful, but he wasn't offensive. He just didn't know what was happening. Daksha was not sinful, but he was offensive because arrogance. It's a very subtle thing to distinguish. I just can't control myself. My mind is thinking certain ways. I'm trying my best, this and that, But I'm really, Krishna, I don't want to do this. The other time we see I'm becoming arrogant. Why do I have to listen to you? So he became a little offensive. And then Krishna poked him and said, what are you doing? He made him a deer, Oh, and he accepted it. I'm sorry, I just, I did that. And because we have this free will, then we can give Krishna something, which Krishna doesn't have. We're very small, but we're always coming up with new things. We're growing in the spiritual world. So a little child, maybe her father's birthday party, maybe she's like, 6 years old, 5 years old, and everybody giving very nice gifts, Rolex watches, and she comes with some cookies, and he says, oh, these are very nice. Did you make them? She said, yes, I made them, Did your mother help you? A little bit. Yeah, but he appreciates that this is the best thing, very sincere, So yeah, we have free will. And at any moment, the spiritual world's a very incredible place. But Radharani is always helping us. Not to abuse our free will. Radharani ki jai. She's very beautiful garlands. Wow. This all happened by chance, by the way. Every day the outfits fall from the sky, the decorations fall from the sky. It's all happening by chance. So, okay. So I want to thank everybody. We'll be here tomorrow morning. We'll give class, and then Tuesday we'll go back after 9 months of being on the road. We're finally going to go back to our base camp. Everybody's camping. In Nashville, and then we'll try and figure out who we are and what we're supposed to do for the rest of our lifetime. So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. There he is. Okay. Prabhupada ki jai. Ki jai.
His Holiness Hanumat Presaka Maharaj. Maharaj has been traveling, as he said, for a while, and we're very grateful that he spent some time here in Houston and the US. And Maharaj had a screening of his documentary that's called The Diary of a Traveling Creature. Not a preacher, but a creature. Maharaj is also a good preacher, as we can tell. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for being here in Houston. Today's Sunday feast sponsorship is by Chaitanya Prabhu and Draupadi Mataji for the well-being and speedy recovery of Draupadi Mataji's mother, who is in critical condition in India, and our 7 o'clock kirtan will be dedicated for her well-being, and also another devotee who wants to remain anonymous for his well-being, requesting the prayers and kirtan also. Her. For Krishna, it's his, him, her, he, she. Let's not talk about this pronouns thing. Our 7 o'clock kirtan will be chanted by a very special visitor here from Mayapur. Prema Kirtan Prabhu will be chanting the kirtan at 7 o'clock. Bhakta Priya Prabhu. I'm getting all these last minute details mixed up. I was also told that there is a car, a gray colored car, that's parked in 2 spots. And I was also told that the car displays a handicap decal. There's plenty of handicap space, and if you're having difficulty in parking, be sure to use and utilize the space that's reserved for you. The license plate is PXK 9588. It's a gray color car. So please remember, parking spaces are 1 per car. And at the same time, I was also told that there were parents walking in the parking lot and their children were just absolutely running free. This is not a playground, it's a parking lot. There are cars going in and out. So please be mindful. As many of you probably know, our temple received a Safe Temple Award because we take care of our children and we have all these instructions that children 12 and under have to be under supervision of their parents, which means you need to control them. Not because you're on the temple property that you're taking care of it. You need to keep an eye on them. So please continue to do so we can probably get an award next year as well. This week's book distribution score, Maha Books 54, large books 54, medium 8, small 67, which gives us a total of 183 book distribution this week. And in a couple of days, or few days, Saturday, April 15th, we'll be participating with our Harinam Sankirtan in our art car parade. So this is on Saturday, April 15th, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Madhav Charan Prabhu will have more details, and the schedule, the location, where to meet, the dress code, etc. will be shared via our Telegram account or channel by Madhav Charan Prabhu, I suppose. So he will have details. It's coming up soon, next Saturday, coming Saturday, the Art Car Parade. Also, for your information, Narsingha Chaturdashi, Lord Narsingha's appearance day, is on May 4th, Thursday. We'll have a very special yagna ceremony here, Mahayagna, in the morning. It is a weekdays, and you can become a yagna sponsor, and you can participate in this special yagna ceremony. The sponsorship for the yagna is $501. And we will definitely have a program in the evening as well. So we'll have a yagna in the morning and then a special program, festival in the evening starting at 6 o'clock. Is there anybody here for the first time? Everyone's a repeat visitor. Okay. Reminder again about the shoes. When you go to Gauranga Hall, make sure your shoes are on the shoe rack and not just strewn around everywhere. So with that, please help me welcome Bhakta Priya Prabhu, all the way from Mayapur, India, chanting our 7 o'clock Arati.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram